この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Sorcery no Frieren episode 9, and we're about to face the I did listen to that song a couple times this morning, and man, it's got some energy to it. I'm hoping that some of that energy will be carried forward into this insane fight that I'm sure we're about to get, as the now revealed Sorcery no Frieren, Frieren the Slayer, floats daintily above an entire army of headless night monster men, headed up by a demon lady with a scale, who I happen to find quite attractive, and is going to lose really bad. I'm really excited for a number of reasons, not least of which is that I'm genuinely fascinated by the presentation and nature of demons in this show, which has been an interesting point because there's been some discussion that's contentious about that, both whether the nature of demons that are being presented are like believable or interesting, and also whether they're like a good thing, and people arguing, particularly in the Discord, you know who you are, and we've already had this discussion and we came to interesting conclusions about it. Like, there's no animosity here at all. Wondering whether there's something lost by having villains or enemies that seem so simple or one-dimensional. I don't find them simple or one-dimensional. I do see where that opinion is coming from, but honestly, I find them fascinating, and far more so than a truly natural, intelligent race that just sort of chooses to do fucked up, horrible things all the time because fiat of the author, versus a race that's not evil. They're hungry. They are instinctually driven, evolved monsters that have simply evolved the ability to communicate, because it is very useful. And I have no problem biting that off and chewing it and believing it. No problem at all. And I would have an example. Actually, let me check. She might be inside. Unfortunately, she's out and about doing murdering things. There's a cat in the house. And cats are monsters. They are psychopathic murderers. They love killing things. And a lot of the behaviors that cats have that make them really endearing to us, their cuddling tendencies and their purring and a whole lot of their behaviors actually are theorized to have no real internal purpose. A lot of their purpose is to endear them to us, the dominant species on this planet, and the one that determines whether they sort of live or die. They've evolved these traits in order to make themselves more comfortable for us to have around, and more likable, and more easy to bond with, all of which facilitates their lives, their ongoing existence, and being taken care of by bigger monsters than them, and being allowed to live in our homes and murder everything that moves in a small radius. And I mean everything. Just a couple days ago, I found a rat with its belly torn open and its guts spilled out all over the porch, left as a wonderful present from my feline friend and companion. But cats are, well, they're not emotionless monsters. They're mammalian. They grow up in litters. A lot of their behaviors are learned because they're communal. They raise live young and learn a lot of behaviors from their parents. Cats who aren't socialized with other cats become much worse. Cats who don't have a mother cat in the area become much worse in a lot of ways. A lot of those behaviors are because they're social animals. So to get closer, and cats are already psychopathic monsters who use certain expressions to seem cute to humans. Let's go a step further. What about something a little bit colder, a little bit more monstrous, a little bit less interested in communalism or familial dynamics. Let's take snakes, for example, or any number of creatures in the reptile kingdom. Snakes can reproduce via parthenogenesis. They don't actually need to mate. Those that do give birth to live young and those that lay eggs, doesn't really matter. Both of them abandon their young almost immediately. The young don't really get raised in a group. And the crocodiles, snakes, a lot of these creatures, totally cold, entirely predatory, and haven't evolved much in terms of behaviors to be kind and liked by other things. Most of their behaviors are like camouflage and pretending to be sticks and stuff. Going a couple steps beyond a snake to a creature that's become a little bit more intelligent, but starts in the same place, a hungry monster, and evolves from there with the pressure of human existence in their world. I see it as not even a leap, just a small step to get to a creature that uses mouth sounds that happen to work in order to get what it needs and wants to survive. And it's not too much further to start AI generating sentences, mashing things together. Mom, my father is also dead, in order to get what you want. I buy it. I wholeheartedly buy in to this idea about demons. I do kind of hope that there's a little bit of variation amongst them. Maybe more powerful demons gaining some larger degree of agency. And I have to raise the question of whether these creatures, given their nature, are what we would call evil. And to be clear, I don't think that they have to be evil to justify us going and killing them. The farmer who sees rabbits eating all of his crops may or may not think of those rabbits as evil, but still needs to eliminate the rabbit problem in order to survive. And similarly, whether we consider the demons evil or not, we need to eliminate them in order to survive. There's no working together with these creatures. But evil? I don't know. I'm not sure that the word really applies because of the nature of what it implies. And luckily, I've got the most perfectest analogy for this that has ever been put to paper, I think, which comes from section 13 of essay 1 of On the Genealogy of Morals by Friedrich Nietzsche. It is not surprising that the lambs should bear ill will against the great birds of prey, but that is no reason for blaming the great birds of prey for taking the little lambs. And when the lambs say among themselves, "Those birds of prey are evil, and he who is most unlike a bird of prey, who is most like its opposite, a lamb, is he not good?" Then there is nothing to cavil about in the setting up of this ideal, except perhaps that the birds of prey will regard it with some measure of derision, and say to themselves, "We bear no ill will against these fine, goodly lambs. We even like them. Nothing is tastier than a tender lamb." It's no surprise that people, seeing monsters who want to eat them, would point at that and say, "That is definitionally evil." But what does that mean? It means it's a thing that is distasteful to us. And that's all it's ever meant, isn't it? Is there a grander definition of evil? Evil doesn't mean malice. Evil means, I don't want that over here. And by that, I think they fit. But by a more colloquial definition, creatures who want to cause harm, or that we apply and project a human morality onto, that choose to cause harm because they enjoy it for some reason, that have the possibility of not doing so, and choose it regardless. By that colloquial definition, the demons that we've been presented are not evil. They are animal. They are hungry. And so, I find this really interesting. 100% they need to die. But it doesn't fit into the sort of classic heroism that we're used to, where evil is evil, well, either because we just say it is so, or evil is evil because it has chosen to be and is not aligned with our purposes as protagonists. Instead, It's much simpler. The evil of the demons is just what they are. And it is only in interacting with us, the thinking, conscious creatures that call themselves humans or humanity, which seems to include elves and dwarves. There was plenty of discussion about that. Only when their actions affect us do we have to have any kind of conflict. Evil? I think they could turn it right back around. Not the way that the eagles that Nietzsche writes would turn it around and say, we don't find humans bad, they're lovely, we love to eat them. But instead, to say, we are just following our nature and being what we must be. These humans are all banding together and calling us evil for doing what we must to survive. Aren't they the evil ones? I think that might actually hold weight in a room full of demons without any humans around because they've killed them all. But I will address one other thing, which is the worry that by having such straightforward villains or one-dimensional villains, hungry monsters, that we lose something. We lose some degree of nuance. I think that's true if that were the story that we were trying to tell. But most of the stories that I see where there's a demon king or something like it, there isn't any nuance there. It's just a fiated RPG trope. I think this is a much more interesting way of going about it, and of creating a race of monsters that are humanoid in their affect, in their expression, but that we as viewers or as members of the squad should have absolutely no qualms about murderating. I like it. I actually like it quite a bit, and I will fully cede that any plot threads related to complicated demons go out the window, but I didn't expect any plot threads about complicated demons, and I don't think that they would work in this story, so I don't think we've actually lost anything at all. I'm here for it. I think it's a cool concept. I think it's genuinely novel. I've seen a lot of fucking demons. I've seen them in Western fantasy and Eastern fantasy and all over the place. I've seen them as representations of, like, as above, so below, diametrically opposed good and evil forces creating the universe, and I've seen them as, well, they're just monsters that we threw into a story because we needed monsters. I've seen a bajillion different iterations of demons, and I don't know that I've ever seen one that's quite this style. And I find it compelling. I actually really, really fucking like it, and I think it's really cool. So fuck you if you don't. No, I'm kidding. There's nothing antagonistic about this. I just think that these demons are cool. And I like that their particular brand of hungry, evil, monstrous, certainly. Their particular brand of monstrous is, well, it's unsettling. I think that there's something more to it, too. I think it really hurts to be harmed by someone and not get why. I think that we, as people, really like to figure out a justification for why somebody else acted in some way. And if you can figure out that, like, okay, they did it out of self-interest, they were harming me to get theirs, you know? All right, fine, it makes sense. But to have monsters that don't have it out for you or anything, they just are what they are. There's little to grab onto emotionally. There's little to rile you up about that. It reminds me of that sequence that we see of the young girl demon infiltrating the village, and the horror and rage on the family's face as they see this happen, and they try to question why. But there isn't an answer why. Why? Because it seemed like the thing to do. Because I felt like it. What do you mean, why? It's how I am. I think it's cool. I think it's freaking neat. I actually really like the demons. I like them a lot. I've spent a while trying to think if there's a piece of fiction that has something sort of similar to it. And I really haven't been able to come up with one. Maybe sort of the closest that I've come, and it's not even close, is Shiki, a show where people become vampires. And they're basically traditional vampires. And that makes me think kind of like traditional vampires. But traditional vampires are a totally different thing. They've got all this, they've got human baseline moral compunctions and have to overcome that in order to feed and like survive and stuff. It's a totally different can of worms from these human-shaped hunger beasts that just want to do what they're doing and kind of like a bird of prey happily nom down on the entrails of a screaming living creature without giving a fuck. Doesn't even register. I think it's really interesting. I don't know. Maybe, feel free to disagree. I'd love to have more discussion about this. Please feel free to note any fictional stories where you think that there are peoples or races or species or creatures or monsters that are similar to this. Where they're sort of intelligent as an affect, as a manipulation strategy. I fucking like it. I think it's cool. And I'm really curious to find out more about it. We've only been shown a limited swath of demons. They've all been underlings as far as I can tell. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen when we meet some bigger baddies like Aura the Guillotine, who, again, kind of hot, very scary. Nice. I'm going to do some kind of scribble. I've got nothing in mind, so it's just going to start out weird, and we'll go from there. I'll see you in a sec. Shoot. Guillotine. So, okay, here's a question. As I'm drawing this out, kind of having fun with it. Who decides what is considered evil? Who determines what is good and what is not? It's a really, shockingly complicated question. Aura, the guillotine, carries a scale, the traditional symbol of Lady Justice, symbol of the one who decides what is good and what is evil, who weighs the actions and sins, if you will. I think overall, the decision is made in stories, in history, in knowledge. Without knowledge, Lugner and the group that he's brought here might succeed. Never be considered evil. I don't know. The common people? If it's the common people, then that fits that sort of Nietzschean lambs looking at birds of prey. If it's history, then all we do is take the word of those that came before and pass the question along, who decided then? If we come to the conclusion that it is those individuals with the power to do something about it, to stand up against it or not, to take action in the face of what they decide is evil or not, then we position Frieren as the kind of person who has the power to decide. That's a dangerous thing to do, philosophically. But it also still fits the Nietzschean ideal of like a person who has transcended norms and acquired the confidence and capacity to choose for themselves. See, I prefer this kind of curious wondering and kind of confusion. I like this state of being. I prefer this over conclusively obvious straightforwardness or convenient use of oft-repeated tropes. I fucking dig these villains. These demons, whatever. I fucking dig them. I think it's really interesting. I think it's a strange wrinkle to the show, and I'm excited to see how we do more with it. So let's go ahead and do more with it and jump into watching episode 9 of Sorcery no Frieren. Now with our name drop, Frieren the Slayer, heading off to face against another titled character, Aura the Guillotine. Also, Stark and Fern are doing really good. Yeah. This is a cool little mini arc. I don't know how many more episodes it's going to be. I think probably the next 2, and then we're probably done. So that's what we're going to plan on doing today. Methinks. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode or episodes of Sorcery no Frieren. I'm enjoying the hell out of the show for obvious reasons. I hope you are too, for obvious reasons, and I hope you'll continue watching along with me as we dive further into what the hell this conflict between demons might be, and whether we can save Graf Granite's domain from the incursions of these monsters. I've got episode 9 of Sorcery no Frieren, subs please version, up and ready to go. There will be 2 versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, beep timer to count you down, early access on the Patreon, check it out, beep timer to count you down, let's go. Yeah, I'm almost certain that the thing that flashes in the red gem is Aura. Mm-hmm. Damn. Oh, nice. All right. Might actually be able to save Graf Granite. I think that's good. He seems like a reasonable guy. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't think you're gonna have to pardon her. Yeah, do you know stuff? You know stuff. Yep. Yeah, a little bit. That makes sense. But didn't 7 Sages of Destruction. Alright, so we're frenemies. Still hot. Yay! Sweet. Not anymore. There's a Frieren here. Is she playing her? The gems? The necklaces? Oh. 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 Just an instant whomp. Yeah, the risk is the backfire. Unless you're Frieren, I would assume. Wow, so that means anybody you throw at her becomes her minion. Control swap. Yeah, top tier mana flow. Get a bigger mana dick. Have a big mana measuring contest. Ooh. Ooh. The way we flash that face, is this a family member? No more will. She's completely unfazed. Completely unfazed. That's gorgeous. Okay. What did you just do, Frieren? Oh, just a dispel. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't use that much mana. Oh. Reverence toward the bodies? You really don't understand. God, the little smear! The little smear! So extra. So extra to put the little smear in there. Look at all the little smears! Fuck. That's too pretty. And you won't get another trick like that. Oh my god, look at the hair. Don't you try to protect me. Gonna go murderize Lugner? They're so good at this. They're so good at this. Oh, I thought you were gonna be heroic. Amazing. Okay, yeah, so that was his grandfather probably who is in the suit, who was fighting against it. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Ah, she figured it out. Okay. I was like, I wasn't sure what was going on. That's what was going on. She figured it out. Oh, fuck! Where did that X come from? Did she manifest that? How did that happen? Let's go. Aww. Good job, Fern. Oh, shit. Hmm. Damn, we got. Great, then let me up. Let's have a fair fight. Hmm. Yeah. Dealer's choice. Oh, yeah. I don't know what that means. Hmm. Hmm. Is she a technique thief? Is he buying that? Nope. You're really gonna look away from Fern? Or is this just a trap? Come on, use the force, Fern! Use the force, Fern! Blast him! Motherfucker, just blast him! You don't need to know this! Wanted to gloat. Yeah. Do it! Don't tell him! Don't fucking gloat! Get it done. All these little establishing shots are really fucking cool. That's a high bar. Let you handle versus force them on you. Oh? She's a quick draw. Mm-hmm. Much shorter life, but... Sick. Information acquired. All these little moments of like hold on the hand, hold on little stuff. Builds so much tension. Whoa. Holy shit, what the fuck? Hey, don't you turn your back on Stark? I still believe in this boy. What the hell did she do? Whoa. Oh, we're getting dancy with it. And yet... Oh my god, look at that fucking hair. Oh, dancy with it. There have only been 2 scenes, and I already think this is my favorite magic battle. Yo, Fate can fuck off. That detail in the eyes, I'm just shutting up because this is so cool to watch. How much more has she got? He's sweating. She's not. Now you turn to lean on the other one. It's getting harder than I thought, though. It's weird. He just won't go down. Hmm. Hmm. So Stark is just disengage, disengage, disengage. Ugh. Ugh! Yeah. She is a thief. That's bullshit. That's OP as fuck. Wow. Little girl watching from then. You could be your master. Come on. You got it. Overcome, Stark. Overcome. Yes, you can. She's not icing, man. Fuck that. All right, maybe we lost. Maybe not. Maybe we lose. Get up! Not yet, Stark. There's something you cannot imitate, and that's fucking balls. Ooh. Mm. 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 Warrior logic. Don't lose. Don't ever lose. Oh, holy shit, he's a genius. Oh my god. He's a genius. Warriors and barbarians, baby. We keep getting back up. Alright, lady, you want to keep fighting? He's just griping to his master who isn't even here. So fun. Nah. Yeah, you're not even close. Let's go. Yeah, yeah. That's so cool looking. Wow. Or he's baiting you. Heh. Oh, got her. Oh, you suck. Oh, ooh, the big one. A pale imitation. Bye, Linear. Ooh, you fucked up too. Draculate. Just waiting for the moment. Wow. Oh my god. So we ended up breaking the whole fight just into two parts. We're gonna do the one part here and the other part on the other episode. So we get the Fern. That's so fun. That's so fun. This was gorgeous. That initial Fern versus Lugner sequence might be my favorite Magic battle. Stop. I'm racking my brain. really interesting that this episode was titled Hour of the Guillotine, but this isn't the episode in which she's defeated. This episode was honestly like more focused on Stark, Fern, Lugner, and Linny. Kill all the elves? What was that? What was that? I don't know what that was. Okay, standout things about this episode are largely visual. But there's one thing that's more like pace or flow that I just want to mention. So let's find sequence, like the standoff with Lugner, the first portion of it. First portion of our standoff with Lugner. We get all these like lovely little moments of observation of other things. Characters' eyes focusing on stuff, just like we did in the room when he was looking around trying to determine what to say to throw Graf Granat off his tail. But then there are also all of these, or then here, when we're setting up for this moment of movement, right? These two are locked in a standoff. She's got a gun to his back. You don't see us as a threat. And we start to cut in closer and closer and closer to narrow our field of view, right? We're here wide out on a semi close-up of the face, up to an ultra close-up of the eyes, right? Like locked in. And then we start showing the landscape from different angles. Above, here, little bits, every bit that we can see. Every element, totally static, not moving, and showing it from all these different locations. It's like the setup for a gunfight. It's the setup for a draw and duel. Makes us hyper aware of all these little details, even without actually showing us anything. And then we move out of that space into this one and back into it, and it all kicks into gear almost immediately after another sequence of those little moments. Little close-ups, silence, and then wham, it moves, everything moves, and we're in action, and she's ready too, and blasting before he can even turn. It's like, it's so cool. This is a different nature of establishing shots. It's like, it establishes all these elements of the scene, all these little pieces, ding, 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 ding. You get this sort of like bug eye, like multi view of the thing, and then it all collapses into one big moving shot where you're able to see everything all at once. You know, our field of view gets limited down, and then it explodes, and then immediately after that we're whipped out into the wide, and suddenly everything is big and broad and it's happening, and then we're in the minds of the characters and we're fighting back and forth, and the whole thing is going. That acceleration up to it, that sort of hesitation and timing, boom! That's good storytelling. That's good animation. That's good film. That's good. I like it. I like it a lot. It's good. Tastes good. Tastes yummy. Okay, then we'll go through the whole of the thing. Chat with Graf Granat, convince her of the things, find out a little bit about the Aura, Sage of Destruction. And they're enemies. I love these little dainty things. Like, one, holy shit, that background is gorgeous. It's actually gorgeous for being gray and mud tones. Look at the light play off of here and that's gorgeous. That's so weird, but truly painted and genuinely beautiful. As is this. A totally different aesthetic than most that we've gotten. Maybe because of the fuzziness of nighttime, but it's gorgeous. The CG suits of armor don't bother me at all, which is wild because they should really bother me. They're clearly CG and they look fucked, but they've got this great sort of texture to them. Not the bloody muck stuff, but the actual texture of the metal is pretty great. They still look as jank as they could, being CG and stuff, but for some reason it doesn't bother me even a little bit. And I'll stick to my gun. She's hot. Fucking hell, it's weird. And arrogant and proud. And that seems to be a through line for most of the demons. Arrogant and proud. Also maybe a through line for Frieren herself. Can we just mention that this is a 2D shot? Like flat 2D shot, and then it's not. There are a couple of moments like that where a scene just becomes so much more than it was moments before. Really sells me on how powerful and nonplussed and completely unfazed Frieren really is. Humanity's magic could never dream of reaching such heights, but it couldn't be more disgusting. It makes me want to puke. All the little gems around their necks, and that one in particular stands out. So we explain the tool and show it in backstory. And it's a really cool object thing. So my question now is, where did this cool magic object come from? It's really powerful. How many other powerful magic objects like it are there out in the world? And from whence did they come? Did she manifest it? And it's her spell? I assume that that's what's going on. I don't know. But they do judge fairly. So then I wonder why she's expending lots of mana to dispel the soldiers. Because it seems like the way to defeat Aura would be to weigh your own mana against hers, knowing that yours would be stronger. But I don't know. I like this overlay moment. It does indicate to us that this knight is his relative. And also, I think that's the sword that he ends up using. So maybe, could this be his son? It could be, couldn't it? Temporary. So she did what she had to. Slice, slice. I don't know if I've been more sold on action scenes in a show. Period. That's a crazy thing to say. How can I be as or more sold on Lady Mage fights a bunch of headless armors, or Lady Mage versus Blood Demon, or whatever? How can I be as or more sold on that than I am on, like, Hajime no Ippo, guy in boxing match does a boxing match? It's like, it's on the same level for me of believability. Obviously, suspending disbelief about the fantasy stuff. I buy the movement, I buy the momentum of the characters, I buy the close calls and how totally unfazed Frieren is by them. I fucking love the way the magic looks. How she's got her dainty hands being all dainty while blasting out with a powerful spell. I wonder what the reason for that was. Why didn't you just blast them away with flashy spells? Because Himmel scolded me. And her response is, then that's all the more reason not to do it this way. Himmel's not there to judge you. You're free now. So she doesn't get it at all. Good, says Frieren. As though there were a question in her mind, but I don't think there was. Never, ever has there been a time when Stark doing something strong and heroic and then revealing that it's actually cowardly and silly. Never is that not going to land for me. That will continue landing until the heat death of the universe. It's fucking amazing. Fucking awesome. There are a bunch of little tiny bits of awesomeness here. First, when he's whipping his arbor out, little high quality smears is really fun. Then when he's putting this cloak on, putting his whole jacket thing back on, it's like amazing looking. There's this like whippiness to the cloth, and the folds of it are perfect, and I don't know how they do this shit. I don't know how they do this shit. That's like magic. It's like looking at magic. Or then here, this is just a personal thing, but the sort of lacy falling hair that's out of its alignment, that hasn't been combed for a day, they've been running around dealing with fights and shit. Some of Fern's past waist length hair is gonna be a little bit mussed up, and it's beautiful. Ah. Ah. I love it. I'm really just continuously entranced by the visual language of the show. Blood and doom. Okay, we gotta get to my favorite thing. I've been dancing around it. We gotta move forward. The Linear Stark fight is cool, but once this piece of the battle kicks into gear, it's amazing. I really, really like this moment where we're looking down at Fern's feet, and she's walking, partly because of the way that the cloth moves, partly because it fits our sort of like walk cycle journey idea. And the conversation that we have fits it so well, I think. Am I useful? I'm not as good at magic as you are. And the answer is, in some ways, you never will be. You're never going to catch up in those regards. But those regards are only mana and technique. What is it about Fern that allows her to fire off spells so quickly? It seems to be her trait as a magician, but I don't know where it comes from. I've dedicated the majority of my life. Yeah, me too. Is yours worth more than mine? He'd say yes, it's been a longer time. We'd say no, but I'm not sure why. The stages of that are executed so well. From silence, to the whip past, to establishing what's really happening, to the eye as he's surprised by it, to pulling out and seeing it actually occur. And then dropping into their minds. Fern really has picked up a lot of that calm, cold, collected demeanor. The blood stuff looks so fucking cool. It's like roots growing through reality. Balterier. I want to know what that means. Oh, Baltery, artery? Maybe. I couldn't find a word for it. I don't even know how does that... It's like in the realm of the parallax. Okay. Oh, wow. That's really novel. It's like we've created an artificial, like, dolly or rack zoom to zoom out without any sort of weird... Whoa, that's weird. And it flows so well into the other... Oh, God. And her hair is so cool. I love the way that I don't know, moves like almost like a mannequin or a doll, but then very precise. And here we go. Our focus on the feet, stepping one in front of the other and crossing over, makes Fern super calm. And it's kind of like flash running. There's all this stuff going on around her as she's just calmly walking forward. The hair flow is beautiful. Just totally aware of what's coming. Perfectly on the ball. And dissolving his blood magic into her own. Wham! Whip. And then this piece, it hits him and he deflects it. Oh, but it's not even a deflect, it's like a... Yep, that sequence up through deflecting of Big Beam is like the best magic battle that I've seen. Full stop. That's the most interesting shit. It tells so much of the, like, how the characters feel about this situation, what they're capable of, how magic works. Like, it's really a fight of wills, but not in the way that, like, a classic beam battle is just sort of whipping that all away into metaphor. This is legit. It's like what I want to imagine a fight between powerful wizards or mages would be like. This psychological battle going on inside their heads as they careen around each other physically and... Oh, she blasts from behind! Whoa! Insane spinning into... just incredible visual. How did you train this girl? With these flashes through her eyes. She refocuses. Battle of attrition is not going to work. Ready and ready and ready for an opening. So she is a thief of abilities. It's fucked up and awful, and it's really cool to watch her move, trade out weapons one after another, and embody these different characters. She's also, it's very flat. I don't know how to put this. When all her hair and stuff moves, it's very flat. Again, doll-like, but paper thin. And then, man, watch out, because you're going to get paper cuts. Usually action like this that's over-the-top, acrobatic, and, like, kind of silly, ends up feeling really silly. But I buy this. I just believe it. Like, a lot of the ReZero fighting kind of looks like this. I buy this way more. Way more. God, that's bullshit. So he's downed. How can I beat my master? By not falling. The secret to winning is to get the fuck back up. It's not through force of arms that we win. It's through perseverance. I don't know what Erfassen is. Let's find out. Capture. That's so sick. We've been in such slow-mo for the whole fight that we can actually watch the beams go by, but to anyone observing, not running at mage time, it's just a cacophony. I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. No regard for defense. All I have to do is make sure you fall before I do. Boom! And both of our youths find their opening. And win the day. So now only their master, their mistress, their teacher has to do the same. Coolest battle. I gotta Sakagaburu. I gotta know just the one sequence with the big spinning stuff and all the floating and the beams going through, and then it becomes a circle of beams around her that warps through all the blood stuff and turns it all white, and then fires beams that whippity throw Lugner through a wall, and then he like spin and flip and whips around, and then the beams go up and around and out through the window, and that scene. I just need to see that. Okay, whole sequence. People talking about the subtle movement from Fern, the rotation, the consistency, and likely some degree of CG assistance for background movement and stuff, just like, because how could you not? But all the fluidity of the red and the blood and the hair and the movement and the lines and the light and the... God, just the pure flow of the damn thing. So that was Koki Fujimoto for the big cut. All of the fabric work from Stark spinning to putting on the jacket, that's also Koki Fujimoto. So not only was he responsible for the most impressive action shots in the episode, he was also responsible for the most interesting and impressive character acting shots. That's wild. That's wild. And then a portion in the Kanako Yoshida for a portion of the Linie fight. This is a real work of craftsmanship. This portion. That's like prime bones. You know? Like premier bone stuff. Out of Soul Eater. And then this moment went whoosh. Momentum, inertia, anticipation. Great studios with great artists don't always get to work on great material that brings out the best in them. Nor does great material always get the great artists and great studios that could bring out the best of the work. Here we've got both. We've got great animators, great artists, putting their all into a piece of media that actually opens the floor for them to do really interesting things. And, I mean, nailing it. Boom! Nailing it. From the physical, from the mundane, to the putting on a damn jacket, to the most crazy 3D spinning beam battle of doom. Frieren keeps nailing it. Let's go onward. Onward! One more episode to see how our mistress does against Aura the Guillotine herself. See you in a sec. Okay, episode 10. Last one was stunning. Let's see if the main course battle can equal up to the appetizer. What a wild thing when you get the teaser for the rest of the thing. And it's amazing. Best meal you've ever had. I'm eating good today. Let's watch episode 10. I've got it up and ready to go. 2 versions, PiP and Descript. Beep beep timer. Let's go. Out in the lovely day. Is this a long time ago? Oh. Oh, yep. A long time ago. Do you really think it's unfair? Okay. 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 Cryptic? I wonder what Basalt's last words were. Got him. Yeah. Got a lot of faith in your Lady Aura. Just needs to weigh the scales. She won't face her directly. Times they are a-changing. Yeah. Has mana manipulation changed? So that must be whatever Flamme was talking about. Damn. Oh. Is this first meeting? Oh. Holy shit, Frieren. As a young one. Back to direct engagement. Control? Wow. So this is the starting point. No choice. Huh. Nope. Hi. That is weird. Why? Oh, they always want to prove that their magic is better, huh? Oh. Specifically the elves. I wonder if there was a prophecy or something. Like one day an elf will rise to defeat you. Then show us. Show us what that looks like. What? Oh. What? I got that much, but what? No, it seems smart. Seems super straightforward and smart. Hide your power level. Oh, the old scrolls. Look at all those old scrolls. Hmm. Strong grudge. Common ground. Which is what we'll need to defeat Aura. Yeah. Always. Sweet. Sweet. Knowing that you've got an immense amount of power in your back pocket. Yeah, give it up, Aura. March back to your little castle. Snatch some victory from the jaws of defeat, huh? So you've already used up a bunch of mana. All you need to do is trick her. If you know you have more mana than she does. Oh, that's dangerous. Complete confidence like the other demons. And she can't feel it in you. Dude, she's gonna blow her the fuck away. It's gonna be like a radiant sunbeam. Like a pathetic trickle. Oh, they cannot! Oh. Yeah, use it. Use it. Discover how fucked you are. You're about to make a huge mistake. That's what's about to happen, isn't it? They can't. Oh, man. Hierarchy? Order. So you need to be able to tell who's the most powerful. Hmm. Oh, with demons you can just vibe it, right? It's just their actual innate power. Closer to like monkeys or whatnot. The bigger one is the monster. Or is the... Yeah. Okay. And thus the pride and arrogance around it, too, yeah. The world of humans is, too. Fascinating. Really cool. And thus we can be trickier. She's been training the whole time. Oh god, she's so big. She's so big. Holy shit, she's aged. That's the first we've seen of that. Hmm. Long ago. Wow. This is such a cool relationship. Passing down of information in the hopes that the next generation takes it further than you did. Spotted. Hmm. Reminds me of Fern. Too late? Oh. Mission accomplished then. In the field of flowers planted by her grave for sure. Now you're alone. Yeah, years and years and years. Practicing. Building up that foundation, but always suppressing it. So all of this is build up for the reveal that she's a fucking radiant star. What is that, Fluffer? Did you see that, Fluffer? That she's a radiant star of mana. Whoa! Built up to a city. So this is the first meeting? This is them. They're Alright, you want to go defeat a demon lord? No, she looks like she has 1/5 of your mana. Yeah, useful to seem like a mid-mage. Ah, shit, damn it, he can see. How does he know? Oh, damn, the same thing that she said. And everything happened, and now we're here. Wow. Oh, that was cool. All right, let's weigh our mana versus each other. Here's my dark hell mana. Ugh. Here's your bright shiny mana. A pure battle of scale. I expect one side to just drop through the floor or something. No, you. No, you. Hmm. 1,000. It does, actually. It really does. It's suppressed. She's hiding it from you. God. This is gonna be such a cathartic shock. Nani? Time to behead you. You sure? She's still suppressing it to trick you into getting closer? You fucked up. You fucked up. So arrogant. Impossible. You could never have. That's because she's really good at it. She's just really good at it, dumbass. Oh. Yeah. How many years is that? 80? 100? Nah. For this. For this. Play right through your arrogance and stupidity. Oh, here she goes. Impossible. Call me mommy. Fink. Yeah, there it is. Uh-oh. We deceive with magic. Kill yourself. Yeah! Wow! Oh, that's the full end. What a build-up. That was so much fun. That was such a fun build-up to what became a very obvious reveal, and it was still amazing. It's still really fun. So many scenes of, like, Frieren feet and Flamme feet walking together. Just does so much to glue that relationship together. Mm. Mm. It's the winters of the northern lands, cold, cold, cold. This is fucking awesome. What an amazing piece of storytelling. This episode should be, I mean, it's all about masters and students. I love that it comes right after we watch her students totally blow Lugner and the others out of the water. It also ends up kind of fitting in a really cool way. Like, the demons really lack some ability to communicate and help each other, and here we have precisely the opposite in both parties. The master and the students of the human side win out over demons despite their more powerful magics, partly because they can work together, partly because they're just cool and can evolve and stuff. I wonder, what is it that Fern is doing that allows her to fire off so many spells? Is it just that she's suppressing her mana, and so Lugner thought she had less mana than she did, and then that just allowed her to keep firing off spells because she wasn't actually tapping her resources? I guess so. The mini mystery of embracing the cowardice or dishonor, the guerrilla tactics, the methods, and how that gets explored and explained to us by diving back in time to show the first meeting of Flamma and Frieren, and then moving forward from there to demonstrate the way they've been working together and what she's taught her, and then coming back to the present time to show how it actually comes to fruition and how that long con really comes into play. I think it's an extraordinary piece of storytelling for this episode. She's far less mana than Lady Aura. Far less. But she's always engaged us directly. What's going on here? Something's weird. Uh-oh. And he figures it out. You are a disgrace to all mages. How dare you hide your power? What a creepy and pathetic thing to do. Smart. It's a smart thing to do. No need to show them what you're really capable of. Man, so this is where we start. We establish for the first time where Frieren's hatred of demons comes from, really. They killed her entire village. That'll do it. And Flamma just wanders these lands before coming upon this incredible scene and finding a young mage with a lot of mana, but no control. Why do they always engage directly? How do you know that she's more powerful? Just a feeling. So some people can just feel it, not tricked by the mana. You really are a fool. You should have just run. I like this moment. Put me down. No, you have potential. You are going to be my apprentice. Required. And they could have caught us off guard. They could have kept their mana hidden and killed us both. But instead, their pride when it comes to magic overwhelms their rationality. Kill all the elves. So that's pretty interesting. I gotta be curious about that. Why did the Demon King care about specifically killing all the elves? We don't have an answer. I'm really curious. I wonder. I do wonder if it's a prophecy kind of thing, and the prophecy was actually about Frieren. It's such a classic. I mean, it's biblically classic, right? The king gets a prophecy that a savior will be born unto the people, kill all the youths in that village. The killing of all the youths in that village leads the person who will become the savior to go on their mission to become the savior. Seems like it. So again, it would be the sort of pride and arrogance that you could overcome a prophecy that leads to being blown the fuck away. I don't know. But speaking of blown the fuck away, I think that in both instances that it happens in this episode, the I've been hiding my power level the whole time Rock Lee weights come off moment is so extraordinarily well executed. First, with Flama's little side eye into boom! Just an instantaneous explosion and they're gone. Just shocking. Just like, let them judge you a weakling, let them square up and get overconfident, and then strike fast and hard. And don't let them have a moment. Yep, allow them to miscalculate. It's cowardly, it's unfair, it mocks this magic that we study, and yet it is the way. I love this background. I don't know what it is. I mean, I guess it's just the texture of these scrolls and stuff, and the color of the marble. I just love it. I think it's amazing looking. I love how much time we spend over the course of this episode walking. Just walking from place to place with Frieren and with Flama. Talking about magic and communicating. You know, it's like a good 3/4 of this episode is just exposition about the nature of magic, how Flama thinks, that you can suppress it, and it's just mostly characters walking next to each other, and it's still the most engaging shit that I've seen all forever. Forever. I'm so engaged. I'm so interested. We spend a lot of time walking through cities and villages and showing little bits and pieces of everything around them, and the way that they interact with the environment, it's like we're just watching pieces of these conversations, but they're really out there doing stuff. I'm pulled into their world as we turn and this horse like watches us as we go by. Or we turn and we see this urchin on the street. We compare visually the societies of demons and the societies of humans, the ways in which they interact and generate hierarchy and order. We follow up seeing cruelty in our world with saying the world of demons is cruel. Reflections of each other in some really interesting ways. And so we spend time and time and time. It seems like the first spell that Frieren actively chooses to want to learn is that spell about a field of flowers. Maybe the first of her mundane but important magics to gather. Please teach me that spell. And avoid leaving your name in history. It's more important to keep it as a weapon. And so we see this tiny village, hovel, becomes a town and then a small city. Over hundreds of years, while Frieren trains and practices and withholds the whole time. Damn it. God damn it. Just thought of the stupidest joke. No! No! Oh, you can't make me say it. You can't make me say it. Frieren's on NoFap. No! Ah! No! No! Her power's overwhelming! So why was she dispelling her soldiers? It was to trick Aura. To make Aura think that she had eliminated enough of her magic that it would be totally safe to do this comparison thing. To weigh them on the scales. She didn't need to dismiss any of them, but also they weren't making a dent in her actual stores of magic. Baller. God, that's so... Oh, it's so fucked up. Oh, it's so fucked up. It's like, oh man. It's like really long conning it. Like spending 3 years becoming totally out of shape and like fat and gross just so that some idiot will challenge you to a boxing match when really you're the greatest boxer of all time. And then spending like the 6 months to get into complete show like prep mode and be totally in fighting shape by the thing, show up and be like, yeah, you weren't ready, motherfucker. You were never ready. Right up until the end, your mana is unimpressive. You're no match for me. It wasn't even necessary. I shouldn't have even been so cautious. She's already thinking about what she'll do once she's won. She's already won, right? Weird. And then, at the last, when the blade is against her own throat, there's emotion in her. Real fear and anguish. Anguish at having made this mistake. Not regret or coming around. It's fully in demonic character. Impossible! How could I, this great creature, be tricked and beaten and bested? She dies confused. With no mercy. I love how even when she says what she's done, she's like, that's not... No. I'm too good at noticing mana fluctuations for that to be possible. There's no chance. Even when she fully tells her, I've won, you fool, she can't get it. Not until the blade sinks in. And it's far too late. Who is the demon? So this is cool. Demons have an evolved set of behaviors that they use to manipulate humans in order to kill and eat and defeat them, right? But mages have an evolved set of behaviors that they use to trick the natural traits of demons. Demons naturally in hierarchy look at your mana and use that to judge you entirely. Humans naturally listen to your words and use those to judge whether you're friend or foe. Both species are using each other's tendencies, manipulating them in order to end them. It's kind of horrific on both sides. I'm going to say, in the face of all the talk about lack of nuance amongst these demons and the way that they work, that's a pretty nuanced perspective. It's a pretty complicated, like, species war that's been ongoing for this long. Very, very interesting. For our first run-in past the walls of safe human civilization, for our first interactions with demons, this is extraordinary. It's been such a cool lens to let us expand outward and explore really the whole of the thing. Demons are pivotal to it all. They were the primary quest of the original Heroes Party. What they were doing was important. Why? What were they fighting? And now we've established it. A threat that goes on. I love it. I think the idea is cool. I think the execution is miles better and wildly interesting. I think the overall animation and flow of these episodes had some of the straight up most impressive shots that I've ever seen. And just like laid out a magic fight. 2 types of magic fights. One psychological and mental, and the other totally physical and real. Laid out and presented a magic fight that I just thought was spectacular. Best dragon fight. I mean, we're going to have our own award show. Best dragon. Frieren. Best mage fight. Best wizard's duel. Frieren. Best walking scene with your mentor. Frieren. I'm just endlessly impressed. What a cool piece of media. What's next? We just defeated the greatest demon in this area. One of the 7 big old baddies, whatever they called them. Are there 6 more? Gonna have to defeat them too? Man, I hope so. Man, I hope so. Just because this was so exciting, hit me in the comments with anything that I missed or misinterpreted. If I made mistakes, I'd love to hear about it. Generally, though, I'd like to know how you feel about this, like, demons versus humans sort of setup. And the way that demons are portrayed as, well, some people have said kind of NPC-ish. They sort of just follow sort of rote behaviors. But do you feel like there's a lack of nuance because of the way demons are being portrayed? Or no, or somewhere in the middle? I'd like to have some insight on that. I think they function really well as villains so far for the story that we're telling so far, and I'm excited to see more of it. I really am. Hell, I would watch the whole show if it was just characters putting on jackets. I'd watch the whole damn show if it was just 24 minutes of characters putting on and taking off jackets. If they looked like that Stark jacket cut and all the folds of the cloth are like moving around and it's whipping and leap. So cool. Mundane magic is really... It's a cool element of Frieren, but it's also something cool that the show Frieren does, is make magic out of mundanity. Little simple things become a joy to watch in the hands of artistic and interesting people. What a thing. I'm so glad I get to watch anime. I'm so glad I live in the modern century where anime exists and I can, like, get it. That's so fucking cool. God, I'd be so screwed 100 years ago. I don't know what I would do with myself, man. I'd probably be drawing. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I'm blathering. For good reason. This was blatherworthy. A blatherworthy episode. So I'll cut my losses and end it here. Thank you so much for watching these episodes of Frieren with me. I thought this was really cool. I hope to see more episodes with you next week when we watch more episodes. Will they be as good as this one? Almost certainly. What? That's so exciting. That's so exciting. There's very little in this world that I love more than knowing that I'm going to have something cool to watch next week. I love it. Fucking love it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week for more as we head maybe out of Graf Granite's domain and further on into the wintry north. Sounds like a time. See you there. Peace.